What an idiot. Oh. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try as best we can to get through our second album of the night with Evil's second drink of the night. Welcome to the next episode of whatever the last one was. I am DL. With me is Evil. We take way too long to talk about albums. Jimmy, Evil, how are you?
I'm good. I've been drinking since 3. It's 8.
You know what's weird? Me too.
Whoa.
That's so weird.
Yep. Oops.
So we're feeling great.
Yeah.
Feeling great, feeling good, feeling great. How are you?
I got pre-lube and post-lube at this point for this episode.
What's your post-lube?
Ooh, wouldn't you like to know? That's what she said. I don't know. I'm feeling good.
You're going to get in trouble.
Probably.
Your girl's not even there.
I know.
We really didn't expect this one to be a double, but we should have. It was kind of dumb for us not to.
Well, we expected the one we recorded before this to be a double, and it wasn't.
We did.
And
Turns out one of us doesn't like to talk about songs very much. But
she hates music.
She hates music. I don't know what to say. No, we should have seen this coming because these albums are amazing. The album that we covered in the last episode, Dummy by Portishead. I mean, how are we not going to go an hour on that? I get it. I do. I got to say, Evil.
Yes.
As far as, I think maybe I say this every time, but man, I wish we'd do more of these.
The exchanges?
It's just really fun to talk about albums that we like.
I agree. I like to be able to just like, even if we give like we're doing now, even if we give each other albums that we both know, it's fun.
Yeah.
I like this.
Maybe we do more of the album exchange, if you will.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Because, and it fits really easily into the 1994 thing, but man.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
It's a good format for this year because it gives us a chance to, like, for Dummy, which we talked about last episode. I wasn't sure if we would have space to talk about that album in as much depth as I wanted to. That's why I gave it to you as my album for this exchange.
See, what's funny is I wasn't sure how much we'd be able to successfully cover as far as interesting content. Mm-hmm. But that might be a personal problem. I always think that, and then we end up getting. I mean, that was a full hour of gold.
Right.
It really was. Yeah. Like, that's good shit. And we're about to get there again too with the album that I gave Evil. How familiar were you with the full album we're about to talk about back in the day?
You know what sucks?
The political system in the United States of America?
Or the world.
The world, yeah, that's
what
fair.
What sucks is...
Not so much in Eastern... Sorry, go ahead.
I totally forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know. Well, then I don't know what sucks, Evil.
Oh, what sucks is a lot of things. I'm riffing here because I did forget. Actually,
it's gonna be a goddamn mess, everybody. I want to just you asked for this, okay? You want us to drink? Well, here we are.
Something
drinking.
Music. But hey,
yes.
Listen, 1994. Holy shit! How about that music that year?
How about it?
Good, huh?
I'm going to re-ask you the question just in case you need it re-asked. Yeah. When this album came out, were you all over this?
Okay.
Partial?
We previously last episode talked about Portishead, which I owned, loved 100%.
Brilliant.
Never owned the album that we're going to talk about.
Interesting.
I think I was familiar with maybe 80% of the music. I knew it very well. Very, very
well. There were a few of these songs that there was no getting away from.
They were huge.
Yeah.
And I have a take for later on the band.
I like it. Mm-hmm. Maybe I like it.
I don't know
it might be the same. I wonder if it's the same take as me.
Might be.
It might be. Before we get into that, we fucked up on the last one. We're not going to fuck up on this one. We got to guess each other's favorite song on this album.
Oof.
Evil, what do you think my favorite song on this album is?
This is a out of left field pick.
I like left
It might
field
be. Picks. It might be right. It's probably not.
It might be.
You
have a one in.
I picked Stage, which was a song, one of the songs that was totally unfamiliar to me, but I listened to it and I'm like, this fucking
really
rocks. And
does rock.
I think you might really like it.
I have thoughts on Stage. We'll talk about that.
All right.
Stage would be one I'd pick for you, but I'm not going to because it's too easy, because it's the rockiest of the rocks.
I know.
For you, I am going to pick White Discussion. There's something about that makes me think Evil.
Yeah.
And
another one I had zero context of before listening to this.
Really?
Yep.
No kidding.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I like that.
This is gonna be fun.
It is. I'm quite excited, and I mean, some would say that it leaves me quite erect. We got to get to the most.
That's what she said.
Yes, we got to get to the most important part of the night. What do we drink?
Oh.
I was going to drink this first, and I forgot. Oops. Because I just had a very distinct feeling that the last album we talked about was going to get a 10 out of 10. So I am now drinking my Grand Mayan tequila.
I have a feeling you're going to have more of it tonight.
It's very, very delicious. Evil, what might you be drinking on this fine Thursday for the people?
This is going to look really familiar because I had something very similar.
Rut-row. 5 episodes, 6 episodes ago?
Episodes ago, I made
Break it down episodes ago?
Last Word riff with Mezcal and Strega. I panicked.
Yummy.
This is like as close as I can get to a Last Word right now. So it's gin.
Oh.
And instead of green chartreuse, I did half Genepi Chamois, half Strega.
So are you being sparing with your chartreuse?
I don't have any chartreuse.
Well, I'm saying you're personally made. Is that why? Are you being?
I think I'm just going to the drawing board and trying to come up with stuff.
I
have not
like
taken
more.
a sip of this yet.
It's nights like this. I wish that we lived in the same town, because we could be there.
It works. You know what I would do differently? Because green chartreuse has a higher ABV than the two liqueurs that I mixed to substitute it. I would get some Plymouth Navy Strength Gin, which is higher proof.
Yes.
And I would put it in here, and I think it would be really fucking close.
That's the Death and Company coming out in you.
You know, I like
Yes.
math and cocktails.
I believe they call that mocktail, Jimmy. Math and cocktail. That's what mocktail means, right?
Yes,
okay.
It does now.
We've got to get to our next album of the night. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. We are back right now. Let's get into our next album of the night. Our second. Why do I say that? Let's get into our second album of the whatever. Our Thursday for you. Check us out on the YouTubes and the Spotify and the other shit.
The things.
The album that I gave to Evil is Live's Throwing Copper, which came out in 1994, recorded in 93 in Minnesota, actually.
In Minnesota?
This is, right?
Wow.
Yes. Another lesser-known label, but Radioactive, which ended up under MCA, so whatever. Produced by Jerry Harrison, who I love. Did a lot of stuff with the. When you think Harrison, you think a little more oddball. Talking Heads, Violent Femmes,
right?
People like that, like
well,
badass. So we'll say that
these guys were kind of like college radio influenced. So it doesn't. I mean, that makes sense.
It absolutely does. Yeah. When you hear this, you think maybe a little more serious of the not so serious REM or I know you're going to give this a 10 out of 10 because you love REM.
I have the take of the fucking podcast, I think.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So Live is an incredibly interesting band for me. They have an incredible band in Chad, Patrick, and Ed. Of course, Ed, the lead singer. And I have more takes. I have takes on them as people later on. But Live is very interesting because they had a lot of fucking albums. They had like 9 albums, 10 albums. And like 2.5 of them are good. That's my opinion.
That's good. I have no frame of reference outside of this album.
They were a weird fucking band. But there was a time where they couldn't seem to do wrong, and that was during Throwing Copper. Mm-hmm. So this album, to me, is just such a good, flat-out rock album. I don't want to say it's simple, but in a time like 94, when you had people doing you had Nirvana Unplugged, you had Portishead, you had like Alice in Chains was doing Jar of Flies. Live comes out with this, which is it's refreshing in its not simplicity, because some of the shit they were doing was just different. It really was. It was a little bit weird. To me, that is one of the big deals of Throwing Copper. Is some might try to call this Americana, but it's very, very much not. That's kind of where I would put that.
I have a really good take on that.
I want to hear it.
So, I don't know if it's the right point to interject this.
Okay.
Weird era for music, 1994.
Yeah.
Like turning point, because grunge had kind of peaked, and this what time of year did this come out?
Second quarter, I think. So June.
This is after Cobain's death.
Yes, right? Definitely after Cobain's death. So it came out in April.
We're in like this almost musical purgatory for alternative music, right?
Yeah.
Where we like the grunge movement has sort of peaked and is crested, and now heading into the post-Cobain era. We're not quite to the era where the radio stations are gobbled up by the clear channels and those like few, giant corporations that gobbled up everything and put everything into categories, where a band like this would cease to exist because there's no room for them. They're very college radio inspired, but they rock too fucking hard for college radio. You said Americana. They sound like a band from Canada.
I love that.
They're from Pennsylvania. They're very East Coast, but more Canadian feeling than an Americana band.
No, you're right.
But they fucking rock. Here's the thing: is they are heavier than they should be in pieces of their album of this album. I have no frame. I don't know their albums that came before. I don't know the albums that came after. I know this album, and part of that is probably because of the radio placement. They had a home in 94, 95, and then and maybe 96. After that, then no, there was no place for them. So like Secret Samadhi, I don't have I don't know any song off that album. I listened to it. I'm like, I don't recognize any of this.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting.
But this album was everywhere.
Oh, it totally was. And I'm sure at some other point we'll talk about, well, actually, I think we already did talk about Secret Sommety because it came out in 97, right? Yes.
It
came out in 97.
On the podcast before, I know that.
Yeah. I think it was on one of my, it was one of my favorite albums in 97, but
yeah.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I love that take about the Canadian thing. I hadn't thought about it because Ed Kowalczyk, whatever. He is so odd. And it's funny because when I think Canadian, because I'm on the west side of Canada, so there's a lot of the whole that whole Buddhist, artsy Buddhist sort of thing going on in Vancouver, BC sort of thing. And Ed Kowalczyk makes this so unique because he is this weird, hippie Buddhist kind of, you listen to the lyrics and he's got this deep third dimensional, third eye sort of thing going on.
There's a whole tie into Jiddu Krishnamurti, which we'll talk about later.
Yes.
Because I know who Jiddu Krishnamurti is very well because of my own personal interests. So, yeah.
So, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. Yes, there is all that, but it doesn't make any fucking sense because he's in these songs screaming his yas and his woos and his motherfucker. He is a fucking old school rock and roll frontman.
Yeah.
He is.
It's so weird.
It is. And to me, that's one of the many things that makes this album so goddamn good. Is I think you're right. They are Americana that rock so much fucking harder than any of those other dumbass bands.
So, okay. Are you ready for the hot take?
Yeah, I love it. I want it. I want more hot takes.
Because
more takes that are
this
hot.
band, they kind of worshipped REM.
I actually didn't know that.
They are the band that REM could have been if REM was on TRT therapy, testosterone replacement, and we're fucking lifting weights and fucking chasing tail and being rock stars. That's what Live is.
Oh,
they are the Anadrol, D-ball, I'm fucking in the gym pumping iron version of REM.
You know what's funny is we'll talk about this at another point in 1994, but the only album REM ever came out with that came even close to something that you're talking about came out in 1994.
It's Monster.
Yeah,
I know.
We're going to talk about that, but that's fucking hilarious. That is, I kind of, when you said you had a take, I kind of saw that coming a little bit.
So was the frequency that Live was on Kenneth?
It was, what's the frequency? Ed Kowalczyk. I'm not going to get into semantics because to me, what makes Throwing Copper good is the fact that every single song is fucking good.
Yeah.
And yes, you have the Selling the Drama, I Alone, fucking Lightning Crashes All Over You. I mean, goddamn, half this album was a fucking single.
Yeah.
But you listen to the other songs on this and how unique they are. You listen to Top. When he comes in with that really weird kind of that, we're talking about with him, the what the fuck is he doing?
I will talk about that later.
Yeah. Or a song like TBD.
Right.
Which is 4.5 minutes of just slow
fucking
bass.
Slow jams.
Yes. Or fucking Waitress. Which
it's the most awkward lyrics, I think, on the entire album.
Right? this is such an oddity in all the best ways. I miss this back then. I miss bands like this. I miss bands like all of a sudden one year like a fucking like Days of the New would come out and you'd be like, what the fuck is this? And I miss it.
Are you familiar with the band? This is a Canadian band. They're called I Mother Earth.
Yeah.
They had they came out the year prior, and I was a fucking huge fan of their album that came out that year in '93. I was a huge fan. That a big single, Not Quite Sonic, that I fell in love with that entire album for some reason, and sonically very different. Like this, Throwing Copper is a very different album from that, but there's a vibe that's similar and that's why, because I Mother Earth's a Canadian band. Another Canadian band that released an album this year that we've already talked about multiple times
Naveed?
is
Naveed?
Yeah. I feel like live fits more with those bands than they do
no, you're right. Like that connection that you made is amazing. It really is. It's true. Like I see a lot more in them. Yes.
And maybe that's because we're more Pacific Northwest, East or West Coast sort of, we were more tied to the grunge movement because of proximity.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, could be.
And they were Pennsylvania East Coast, CBGBs.
I just think you look at what the whole band is doing, and I feel like I'm going to ruin a take later that I don't want to ruin. I just love that take. I love that take because this feels much more like a unique sort of like North Midwest sort of thing. Or like an Our Lady Peace kind of thing. Like most things, and the reason they were amazing in '94 is because they didn't fit a mold.
Yes. 100%.
That's
ultimately what I was getting at.
They didn't at all. And because of that, every single song that they come out with is just like
it's unique.
Yes. And I remember going through that with I remember my best friend at the time and I listening to this and just being like, this is just so fucking like hearing The Waitress and being like, this is hilarious and amazing. And what even fucking is this? That was half this album. And that was with, half the songs being just massive fucking
right.
Like 3 of these songs at least got massive radio play.
I mean, it sold
good,
8 million copies. It's like, it was huge. That's a big album for 1994.
It really is. The only other thing that I want to touch on before awards and categories is just, and it sounds stupid because of how simple it is, but the musicality on this, the production, I mean, every bass line is so well thought out. Every, like selling the drama starts out and that guitar twang is there. This is such an amazingly well produced fucking album.
The bass playing, like the bass production and like specifically is, you don't get that today, where I feel like modern production for rock music is so like blended. It's so like wall of sound. You don't get the individual musical instruments like you did back then. Like I listened to Pillar of Davidson, and I hear,
nice.
I hear like echoes of Tool. I hear echoes of Alice in Chains, like the bass intro to that.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't get that today, where the bass playing in all over the album is so not isolated, but it is distinct. You can hear it. You can hear the different musical instruments playing their roles.
No, there are certain things that I feel like you can really listen to, particularly in rock albums, that the production is good. And, bass lines, like cymbal work, stuff like that you just know, like, okay, if it sounds like this, the production is going to be good. And I think that mixed with the songwriting on this album makes it just makes it incredible to me.
This is going to be like a real basic take, but I think that their first single off of this was Selling the Drama. I can't.
It was, no, you're right.
100% confidence.
Yep.
But I remember that video and Ed having like long hair, and he was wearing like glasses in parts of that video. And it reminds me of Porcupine Tree because right.
Or like the nerdy, like a collective soul type of.
Yes. There's like this weird, I don't know. There's like this really eclectic. Yeah. Nerdy's a good way of pointing it.
Yeah.
Like we rock, but we're also fucking
like we don't give a fuck about what, we don't need the leather jacket and the fucking long hair and shit. We don't care about that.
But you see like the progression of him in 94 through like their singles, like how he went from like long hair to like the weird fucking bald ponytail thing, like the dude in Rollins band in the Liar video, to just shaved head.
Oh yeah.
You watch his progression into rock stardom across the singles and videos from this album back then. It's a really bizarre thing to see. We could go all night.
Actually, let's get into this now. We're going to get into the awards and categories. What's Love Got to Do with It award? I don't know how much you studied. I'm guessing not much about them, about the actual people. And they're very douchey. And they really are. And they had like battles and shit about, fucking rights and who's going to do this and that. And little bitchy shit that got all over that, like stupid interviews where they're bitching about each other and stuff like that, which whatever, that's, all bands do that. You can what I love about bands this eccentric is, like that stuff's all going to come from, it's coming from a mile away. And I think it's a testament to how good this band is that some of the stuff was so douchey that it was like, oh, fuck, man. Like, fuck, like, what a bunch of losers that I still will bang the drum for a couple of their albums ceremoniously.
I'm with you. And there's a couple of awards ahead. I'll touch on this more, but for the What's Love Got to Do with It award, I love them way fucking more than I should any band influenced by REM. They fucking rock. Like
they do.
And I don't know which album it was. I don't know if it was Secret Samadhi or the one after, but they talked about going, I think, to Jamaica, somewhere in the Caribbean, to record an album. And they're like, we thought it was going to be like this really chill, sort of like vibey album, but it just rocked. And I'm like, that's who they are. They're rock stars. They fucking want to rock, regardless of their influences, regardless if they want to be Michael Stipe and the REM crew. There's some fucking hard rocking shit on this album, and I am for it 100%.
Love that take and agree with that take. The DMX award, this is kind of speaking to what we just talked about. These are like Buddhist Zen guys that rock their fucking asses off. It doesn't make sense.
No,
it doesn't. Dude's got like the fucking bald head with the huge long braid. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? It doesn't make any sense. And I love it. I love every single fucking part of it.
Dude.
What about you?
Stole my notes. Bullet point number 1, N of 1. I love bands that are N of 1.
You
no
do?
one sounds like them.
Oh.
Bullet point number 2, they should not rock this hard. And yet they do. It is part of who they are. So if they like REM, I'm not going to judge them for it because they fucking don't act like it.
Right back to you. The Mark Lanigan True Rockstar Award, Evil.
Their pure tenacity. Because they started as a band in fucking junior high. They started as a band. And they were like, in class, instead of doing their assignments, they're like daydreaming about like what kind of tour bus they're going to be on. Like those guys they mentally were like, we are going to be fucking rock stars. And this is our lot in life, and this is what we're going to do. So if that isn't rock star, I don't know what is.
So here, this is my big take on this band, and it sounds simple, but it's not. 1994. Look, this was, I've said it a couple times earlier in the episode, but I'm not saying that it's simple, but it's amazing yet simple guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing, well-produced bass. It's amazing but simple drums, and an egocentric rock singer. This is rock.
Yeah.
This is just fucking straight up rock and roll.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that much just straight up fucking rock and roll at that point. And this was just straight up rock and roll, man. And that's It was just different enough to where it didn't fit into the grunge vein. Like it was its own thing. So weird to me that I did see a couple things saying like the grunge era. It's like, dude, this is so not even
that at
close
all.
to
the guitars are almost clean. Like they're not.
Songs like "I Alone," overrated, underrated, properly rated. I think it's properly both. This was massive in its time.
It was huge.
And I do see like this is one of those albums where it's like if I'm on Instagram and if this vinyl pops up, it's like people are liking the shit out of it. People are like, "Oh fuck yeah, throwing copper, my god." Like yes. So I'm going to say properly both. What do you think, Evil?
I think so. I think in its time properly rated. I saw a lot.
Oh no, do you have the hiccups?
I have hiccups. Sorry. That's because I've been drinking so much.
Ruh-roh. I feel like he's been drinking.
I've been drinking. They are. I saw similar kind of sentiment. It's like this was like a seminal '90s rock album. It was like I saw someone say it was part of the '90s album survival guide. If you own this, and this album, and this was one of them. I'm like, that makes so much sense. But it wasn't grunge. It was not grunge. It was a different
not
thing.
Even close. No, it's
said,
fucking rock and roll. This is not grunge. This is rock and roll.
Yep.
This is fucking like for all you kids back in that day that were jealous of Seattle. No, this is fucking Ohio and Detroit and fucking like this is rock and roll, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say today slightly underrated today.
Not anymore. Not once verse chorus verse gets done with it.
Okay, fair.
What influence and influencees, Evil?
Ooh, this is where it gets fun. So REM #1. They were huge REM fans. And I won't hold that against them.
No, you won't.
Obviously U2 fans as well.
Yeah.
I will not hold that against them.
So we both just have to be pissed off.
I put the Krishnamurti in there, Jiddu Krishnamurti. They were like his lyrics at the time. I thought they were almost maybe a Christian band, but that's not the case.
They went that route eventually.
Well, maybe his spiritual.
I mean, I'm talking years down the line. Line.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I hear a little bit of Peter Gabriel in them.
Okay.
It's there. And then here's the fucking weird thing.
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing that I'm going to tie into our previous episode talking about Portishead. This is an artist I saw as a influence for both of them. And I'm like, I don't know who this is. And I apologize, Great Britain, because I am ignorant in many ways, but there is a hip hop artist named Tricky who was very influential at this period of time, who apparently was both heavily influential to both Portishead and Live,
No
and
shit.
Now I have to fucking figure out why.
I mean,
so
I see the Portishead.
Yeah, the Portishead makes sense. The live, no clue. But I have to go find this out now. Yeah. I don't know if there's like, I don't know. I have no idea. But it's so interesting to me that came up for both of them.
Maybe Evil's gonna die. Oh.
For Portishead, the interesting thing is that he came up as being an influencee and an influencer, both.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
We'll find out. While Evil dies, I came up with a few unique little things because two of these are Ed's influences, I think. I don't know. But when I hear his delivery and his franticness and his want to, like when there's no words and he's still like screaming or he's doing the motherfucker or he's screaming, I want to say Axl Rose for him. I want to say Joe Cocker for him. And then the big one for the whole band, and this is speaking to the whole Canadian thing, which I had never even made the link until you, is the Tragically Hip.
Ooh.
I hear a lot of Tragically Hip in these guys.
That's a good reference.
I finally did something good. The Nevermind the Bullocks award, Evil, you go first because it's kind of a you don't know, right?
I don't, and I'll say just yes with no context. But also, that's unfair to them because they didn't have a place to live after this time period. Like there was no venue for them.
Yes. Yeah.
So I will say yes, but it's not their fault.
It's definitely their best album.
Okay.
I do think Secret Samadhi, whatever. I do think that is an incredible album. It's incredible. And if you were to ask me what my favorite is, I'm not sure I could answer you. Mm-hmm. But I do definitely think, no question, Throwing Copper is their best album. And it might even be like Nevermind the Bullocks' best album. Like way far ahead of anything else. Mm-hmm. I'd be interested to hear, this is one of those where I'd be interested to hear from listeners as far as Throwing Copper versus Secret Samadhi, like where you think on those. But the John Paul Jones Award, there are times where the lyrics are a little bit too much like, I am the master. I levitate above the whom and the blah. So maybe like somebody a little more 70s influence, like a little more, not even positive, but like a little more cool, like a Blood, Sweat, and Tears type of. No, it's actually, that's a terrible answer. You know why, Evil? Because then I wouldn't get lines like it leaves me quite erect, and then I'd be really sad. So, I'm not. Yeah, nothing. Evil, what about you?
I'm gonna flip this a little bit.
Flip that bitch.
I'm gonna replace REM with this band for every album that REM recorded because it's in my best interest.
Evil's ability to just casually shit on REM for an entire episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Like what if these guys recorded Monster?
And I'm just taking it.
That's what she said.
As most REM fans would. The No Dude Seriously Award. Evil, if you had one song to show a motherfucker what this is about, what are you showing him?
I want to say Lightning Crashes, but I feel like that would crush a human. So I'm going to
crush
right?
Human. That's great.
I'm gonna back it up to Selling the Drama because that was my first experience with them.
Okay.
And I think it was a good introduction to the band. And it rocks. There's pieces of that fucking song that rocks.
I have a take on that.
All right.
If I'm showing somebody one song from this album saying, look, this is live, and if you don't like this, you're an idiot and you just shouldn't listen to it ever again. It's White Discussion. I think that encapsulates their eccentricities, their ability to rock your fucking balls off. Like everything in one. I think it's White Discussion. And now we get to the John Popper Best Hook Award, Evil. What is the best hook on this album? There's a couple.
I think the chorus to Lightning Crashes is so brilliant that
it is.
And I have more to say about that song later in the awards.
Okay.
But we'll
in
start
the worst
there.
song on the album? I understand. That's not that funny. I'm just drunk. The best hook on this album, Evil, and you're silly for not even saying it, is I Alone. That's the best hook on this album. The fucking I Alone Love You with that backup fucking harmony. Jesus H. Christ, you guys. That is the first time I heard it, it just blew my goddamn hair back. Like, it's one of those bad boys. Now we're getting to the John Prine Best Lyric Award. I'll start this off, and we talked about the quote-unquote uniqueness of this, but I fucking love it. I love it so much. She was a bitch, but good enough for some change. Everybody's good enough for some change. Some fucking change! I love that so much.
Oh my God.
Like we all get the flu, we all get AIDS. Dude, that song is fucking amazing.
I feel like we're in upside down land because you clearly are not a fan of Lightning Crashes, and I'm like Waitress is the most fun song on the album.
It is.
Maybe White Discussion. But it's I listened to Waitress and I'm like, is this a fucking joke? Like, is this?
I see where you're going with this.
Tongue in
yes.
cheek. Which for me, I should be like, fuck yeah, just like historically, I should be like, fuck, it's fucking music, rah, fucking bitch, rah.
I see where you're going with this, and I get it, and
it feels out of character compared to everything else on the album.
I understand that, but I still think those lyrics are just fucking amazing. I really do. There is a general amazingness of he's singing like, hey, yeah, she was a bitch, just leave some change. But there's this grander scheme of things in that song lyrically that's like, look, we're all going, every day sucks for every single one of us. We're all like, even the shittiest people deserve something kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
What's your John Prine Best Lyric Award?
I don't know if you're going to like this.
I think I am.
It's the entire story of Lightning Crashes because
I love that. I love that.
And I have to include the music video as part of this. Like, that was fucking something to watch and go through at that time. As I was a kid when I saw that.
I was a kidder.
Yeah, you were even more of a kid.
I was even kiddier than this.
Dude, like, I've never heard placenta as a lyric in a song before. I mean, come on. But how visceral is the song? Is the story told in that
Pale
song?
blue colored eyes. No,
Pale blue colored eyes. Oh my God.
I'm very, very, very glad. You are wrong as usual. I'm very glad that was your lyrical whatever, because it's a brilliant song.
It's a story.
I honestly do think that.
It is musical. I think musical storytelling is not something we talk about a lot of. Like,
no.
There's a narrative in there that is visceral and uncomfortable and and real, that I think I was probably this came out. I was probably 17 when I saw this.
It's a fucking concept. People are born and people die. That's not a concept you're ready for at that fucking age.
No.
You know what I mean?
And I remember this being like, oh my, like, is that really what this song is about? Like looking up lyrics and being like, holy fucking shit. Why is this on MTV? Why is this a single? Why? Like, I had more questions than answers from that song.
Your answer is way more meaningful, but Waitresses is better lyric. What's the Eddie Van Halen award for you, Evil Mr. Eddie Van Halen?
So complete opposite to Lightning Crashes. White Discussion is the most positive song on the album for me. And like the main heavy riff.
Expand on that. What do you mean by positive?
Musically, not lyrically, musically.
No.
let me like clarify, like, for sure. Like, it is, if take the lyrics out,
like song you want to actually fucking rock out to.
It's like major chord.
Yes.
And it fucking rocks. This is back
absolutely.
to they should not rock this hard. And that main riff is like when they really get into it, and they take a while. It builds up to it. It's like a minute in.
And he starts screaming liar. And, oh my God.
Positive is a wrong place. That's not the right term. It is.
No, I get what you're saying though.
Triumph. You know what I'm saying?
Triumphant.
Yes, triumphant.
We got to think in terms
Stanton
of
Triangle.
the Stanton Triangle, for God's sake.
Sorry.
My Eddie Van Halen award is it's very simple. It's very simple. It's brilliant. And it is the bass line that runs through all 4 minutes and 28 seconds of TBD. It is that that sets up that is a blueprint for that song, which should be like a boring fucking whatever. It's amazing. And
the drums come in. It's
yes,
so groovy.
And their first, I like you said, like they are so good at doing. It's texture, and it gets bigger, and it gets fucking louder, and it gets more gooder. And then we go to the Surfer Rosa Award. This to me, and it's cheating because I have the vinyl. This flows like nothing. This flows beautifully. The only thing I would complain about, but I won't complain about it on a vinyl or a tape or a CD, is the secret track. If you listen to it on Spotify, the secret track isn't a secret track. So that kind of ruins things for me. But I think this flows fucking amazingly. What about you?
Okay, I love the secret track. I like pedal steel guitar. That's got
Skippy.
That's got
and
me,
horses.
That gives me a very Roger Klein vibe. So I
absolutely.
I
absolutely.
love the itch that scratches. Surfer Rosa. Okay, Surfer Rosa. That I feel like the hits are on side A. The singles are mostly on side A.
Gotcha.
However, there are some really good deep cuts on side B that I'm
a little
big fan of, and I wasn't aware of. White Discussion is one of them. Pillar of Davidson is one of them. Yeah. Waitress, as fucking ridiculous as those lyrics are, I really like that song. And Horse, I fucking love. So
interesting.
Yeah.
You are an enigma wrapped in a puzzle, my man. Because some of those, I just like. Some of those are the opposite of the ones I would have picked that you would have fucking fallen in love with.
Yeah.
Because those are some kind of slower, passionate.
Dude,
you know
I'm
what I
telling
mean?
you. Listen to I Mother Earth's album Dig, and you will know why I like this album.
I'll go check it out. I feel like I probably have, but now we got to go to the hard part. Evil Time of Your Life Award. What is the worst song on this album?
Okay, this is what I was getting at before, and I think this is less a part of the song as it is the placement of the song on the album, and it's top. And I don't like.
Really?
I don't like where it's placed in the structure of the album.
That's interesting.
His vocal thing that he does to intro that
little
song
moany
coming
thing at
out
the
of
beginning?
Lightning Crashes it does not feel right.
Oh. Okay.
Lightning Crashes is so fucking heavy and powerful of a song.
Interesting.
And then it comes into him, that does not sit well. Now here I have a fix. The fix is there was a song cut from this album that was reintroduced.
Oh.
And
yeah.
I feel like if they put Hold Me Up in that spot in between Lightning Crashes and Top, it would smooth out that transition, and it would slowly transition into the second half of the album.
Well, here you are fixing all the world's problems.
Goddamn right.
You're going to be surprised by mine. My Time of Your Life award. Look, there's a part at the end of this song that I love where he does 3 kind of consecutive screams. But here's my hot take. For the most part, the hit songs on this are the worst songs on the album. And the biggest example of that is Selling the Drama. Okay. Selling the Drama, great Americana song, whatever. But it's fucking the same shit that anybody else can do. And I love the ending thing that they do, but I am unimpressed by Selling the Drama. That's what I'll say.
That's fair.
So, yeah. But now we get to go to the fun stuff. I will go first. The 3 best songs on the album. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to have you go first, Evil, and there are reasons for that. What are the 3 best songs on Throwing Copper?
Am I doing all 3 and then you do all 3?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go honorable mention, and that's
make it honorable.
Hold Me Up, which is the song that got cut from the album, but I think should be in the album because I think that's a transition, and I think it should go in that spot at number 6, making Top number 7. I don't dislike Top. I don't like where it's at in the album. It is jarring coming after Lightning Crashes. It does not fucking work for me at all. You got to come out of that song with compassion, and that song does not do it. I think Hold Me Up Top would do that.
Everybody.
Number 3. My number 3 is White Discussion. I fucking love that song. I had not heard it before listening to this album for this episode.
I wasn't that close, but I was kind of close.
You were kind of close? Yeah, you were.
That was my pick for your favorite.
I think it's great. It's
fantastic. It leaves me quite erect.
It rocks. It is a prime example of them. They should not rock as hard as they do. Number 2, and you might hate this. I think Lightning Crashes is a fucking...
I don't hate that at all.
It is a clinic in storytelling and songwriting and music. Music video is a lost art. That is part of why that song is so meaningful.
Some songs get big for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
No, I'm not mad at that at all. Okay. Not at all.
Good. Mm-hmm. My number 1 is I Alone because holy shit, is that song
that's
good.
That's your favorite.
Dude, it is.
You held that close to the chest.
Yeah, I did.
You did.
It's the song off this album that I would take with me forever. It's so good. It rocks so fucking hard.
The franticness when he scream when he's screaming that towards oh my god.
The triangle. It's got it a whole. It's got the whole fucking thing. Yeah.
He is. That's the word for him is frantic. He gets this franticness that is just fucking unreal. Well, and that leads. Go ahead.
It crescendos. That song starts very gentle. And that is just a kind of strumming guitar.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. And by the end. Yes. I love you. Yeah. It's fucking amazing.
Fucking love it.
Fucking amazing. And that's why it's my third favorite song on the album, ladies and gentlemen. That is my number 3, I Alone.
Yes.
It is out of the popular songs, that's the best one to me.
Yeah. Okay.
But my number 2,
don't disagree with that.
you shouldn't. My number 2, we haven't really talked about this song at all. I don't know what the fuck this song is talking about. The way my hand looked on your head with the presence of my knuckles. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that means. But all I know is that Iris, when it kicks into the choruses and it's the and the drums and guitar are doing the same thing. They go into the little ride. It is such a good rock song.
Yeah.
Iris is my number 2. It's amazing. My number 1, I don't know if there was some sort of like subconscious cheating or something like that.
Did I win?
Stage. The song Stage by Live is one of the greatest not talked about rock songs of all time. I mean that. Like, so it is one of the nobody fucking talks about Stage, and it is one of the greatest rock songs that has ever existed. It really is. Everything about that song, the franticness, the he was a rock and roll messiah, like him like screaming the come on motherfucker, like everything about that song is perfection. It's perfection.
I'm so happy.
And Evil wins.
Yes. I'm so happy.
Oh no, that's not what
This Jack Daniels
I just drank peach schnapps.
Ooh, I'm sorry. That was not right.
God, no. Hey, you earned it. Yeah. Evil. Who won the album?
College Radio.
College Radio
is what I put. I don't know if that's right, but it feels right.
It feels right, and it's close to what I said, which is just rockers. Like, this wasn't grunge, this wasn't Americana, this wasn't metal, this was alternative. This was good, honest, true, amazing fucking rock, and that's all it was. And I love it, and it's amazing. And anyone who says otherwise should be boiled in their own pudding and have to drink peach schnapps. Now we get to the important part. Evil. Rate the album.
I mean,
come on, motherfucker.
Is 7 too low for this?
You're not giving it a 7, you cunt.
I give it a 9.2 because it's better than a 9. It's not a 10 to me. I don't think it's a 9.5. 9.2 felt right.
That's fair. That was about what I was expecting.
It feels dated, and I think that's why I gave it a 9.2.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Yep.
You guys, it doesn't matter because Yo Pal DL, it's going on the wall. 10 out of 10 singers that scream yes and no and shit in songs. That's what I'm giving it.
I mean,
it's a 10 out of 10.
A 9.2 is high praise from this guy.
It's very high.
Yeah.
But it's a 10 out of 10. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, first, 2 10 out of 10s, both going on the wall. We're exhausted. We win 1-0. Evil, this was a fucking blast.
Ugh. Dude.
We just talked about 2 amazing albums.
Amazing albums. Really amazing albums. Like they're both. And we're like barely into 94.
Shut up. Yeah.
God damn. We're
so tired.
February.
I'm so tired.
There's so much more to come.
It's great. Hey, everybody, motherfuckers. Versecourseverse.com at VerseCourseVersePod. This was such a good night. I needed it. This was a fucking insane week, and I needed a double episode. Triple, whatever thing that we just did. I don't know what we did today. I'm so exhausted. Evil, you are the man. Thank you for giving Dummy 10 out of 10 because I really need it. How do you keep doing shit like this?
I got special powers.
Everybody, we love you. Good night. I'm out of drinks. Good luck.